any of you have been reading any manhwa or manga for a long time, then you must have seen those characters that appeared for the briefest of time but caused lasting changes to the story. And today we're going to be talking about a similar character from the webtoon Tower of God, and it's this guy, the irregular Enryu. Dude appeared for like 2 chapters and broke the whole power structure of the tower. But to better understand him, first I'll tell you what irregulars really are. Now, irregular is a term used to refer to those individuals who were not selected from within the tower, but instead they came from the outside. They opened the tower doors on their own using their own power. Now, entering the tower on your own as an irregular has some really big advantages, like basically they become broken characters in the story. Well, the first advantage is that no laws apply to you, like no established rule in the tower can stop you, while all other regulars have to obey the rule of the tower. For example, to use Shinsu, which is basically the magic power in the tower, you have to form a contract with the guardian, but irregulars don't need that. They can just use Shinsu naturally, like they're just built different. There's also an absolute law that no one can kill King's Heart or a guardian, but these restrictions cannot be applied to irregulars. That's why it's said that whenever an irregular enters a tower, they bring great change and chaos along with them. Well, basically the great change is that Zahar starts chasing them because he's afraid they're gonna kill him. Well, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about Enryu. He was first mentioned in Tower of God by Lara Rowe when he was answering Baum's question about irregulars. His one and only appearance in the tower is on the 43rd floor, where he came out of anger to protect Arlene's land. Now, who is Arlene Grace to warrant such a powerful being come for her? Well, to be brief, she was one of King Zahar's companions climbing the tower, and also an irregular. She and her lover V had a falling out with Zahar when he stopped climbing the tower and decided to become the king. Zahar, when becoming king, even proposed to her, but she was already engaged to V. They fought a war against each other, but all other companions sided with Zahar. Arlene and V lost the war and became fugitives. During this time, she was also pregnant, and hearing the rumors that she had a child, Zahar tracked them down, killed her infant child right in front of her eyes. She even lost her husband when V committed suicide, but she, being immortal, couldn't even take her own life. So she wandered the tower with her child's body, looking for a way out, believing that outside the tower there may be a way to revive her child. She finally found a way out, but even when leaving, she could not let go of her resentment for Zahar and offer her child's body to the god on the outside. She prophesied that one day this child will return to the tower and have vengeance for her, and that God's messenger will place the red thorn in the child's hand, which he shall use to cut the king's throat. Now basically, she prophesies that someone's gonna kill Zahar. Now the 43rd floor is a place where she gave birth to and raised her child. But due to Zahar's weird obsession with Arlene, he built his own shrine on this floor and made his followers flock to worship it. But as if being unable to forgive him from defiling this land, God's messenger Enryu appeared and turned the tower's Shinsu red. As his final mercy, he allowed people to flee, but only those who did not believe in the false king. Seeing that he was no ordinary person, many people fled, but Zahar's crazy followers attacked him. That was when red rain started falling from the sky. Countless spears made from Shinsu fell on the battlefield, dropping Zahar's followers and wiping out every single one of them. See, I told you, irregulars are basically broken. But even among broken irregulars, Enryu is a special case. And I'm gonna tell you why. You see, after he wiped out every single one of Zahar's followers, a guardian appeared. And the guardian, seeing all this destruction, was pissed. A guardian of a floor is like an absolute being. They have control of all the Shinsu of that area, and every living being needs their permission to use it. And they were thought to be invincible and immortal. Well, that really didn't apply to Enryu, you know. And the ability to restrict Shinsu was of no use against him. They fought, and the guardian used everything it had, even changing into different mystical beings, but nothing worked. Its indestructible blood and flesh was brutally torn apart as Enryu's crimson Shinsu fell upon its body. Buildings collapsed, mountains flipped, and seas dried up as the two entities fought. A rain of red fell as the whole floor was dyed in the blood of the guardian. Enryu had accomplished the impossible. He had broken one of the tower's strongest rules and killed the unkillable, a feat not even the king of the tower had been able to accomplish. He had slain a floor guardian. Something unprecedented had happened. The Shinsu lost its master, and the floor became a dead zone. And finally, Enryu planted the divine thorn, which will be used to kill the king, into the ground, and left as mysteriously as he had appeared. Finally, the prophecy was coming to truth, and now the whole tower waited for Arlene's child to appear. Enryu now ranked number 1 in the tower's power ranking, pushing King Zahar down to number 2. He eventually fell to number 2 when Phantominium appeared, but that's a story for another time.